Everybody wants to face each other. So is that where we're at right now with Canelo?
No. Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
So you convince fans that he can beat Canelo if you...
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. I ain't. He's a good fighter.
You know, I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all going to cry when they get home. You know, and I meant it. I meant them. You know.
Gervonta Davis insists that Canelo Alvarez will embarrass Terence Crawford when they finally share the ring. He argues that Crawford's aura of invincibility has cracks, reminding fans that even Yuriorkis Gamboa once stunned him during their bout to Davis. This is proof that Alvarez's combination of size, strength, and punching power will be overwhelming. He sees the difference between them as undeniable, predicting that Crawford's past vulnerabilities will resurface against a far bigger and more dangerous opponent like Canelo.
No, how could you convince fans that he can beat Canelo if you...
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. I ain't. He's a good fighter. Yeah. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because they're smaller, they know how to move and stuff like that. But this guy is great at what he do. And another thing, bro.
Terence Crawford has built his entire legacy on defying expectations and silencing doubters, having conquered both lightweight and welterweight as an undisputed champion. He now dares to step into the daunting realm of super middleweight against Canelo Alvarez. While critics question his ability to handle the size and power gap, Crawford stays resolute, believing his skill set will carry the day. With fiery determination, he vowed that everyone doubting him will leave the arena in tears after fight night. A declaration that highlights both his supreme confidence and his mental resilience, heading into one of the boldest challenges of his career.
You know, I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all going to cry when they get home. You know, and I meant them. You know, everybody's talking about the size and, you know, me being a smaller fighter. But if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like that, how I'm gonna take a punch? They punch me every time we spar. So you know, it's okay. You know, once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, it's gonna be another excuse why the reason why Terence won and this and that and that is. But I can assure you, I'm gonna be victorious, and after that, we're going to have another parade.
Lightweight powerhouse Gervonta Davis has not been shy about his stance on the Canelo-Crawford showdown. Renowned for his devastating knockout power, Davis repeatedly sides with Alvarez, claiming the Mexican's natural size, strength, and big fight pedigree will simply smother Crawford. He underscores that Crawford has never operated at such a heavyweight class. While Canelo has thrived across multiple divisions, for Davis, that track record makes Alvarez the safer and more proven pick, even when standing across from someone as masterfully skilled as Crawford.
We got between Canelo and Terence Crawford. Tank is going to pick Canelo to knock Crawford out. We all know Tank had his little run-ins with Bud and things of that nature, to where Bud said he will fight Tank at 147, which is crazy to me, right? Tank ain't going to no damn 147. But nonetheless, Gervonta Tank Davis go ride with Canelo. And, you know, he a smart man. He's a smart man. Because I think everybody and their mama see that, you know, Canelo Alvarez is too big for Terence Crawford, just like Terence Crawford knew it. But Gervonta Tank Davis always picked Canelo over everybody. Doesn't matter who it is.
When it comes to resume and experience, few in modern boxing rival Canelo Alvarez. From testing himself against Floyd Mayweather early in his career to battling giants in higher weight classes, Alvarez has constantly pushed limits. His supporters argue that Crawford, despite his brilliance, pound for pound, has not encountered opposition of similar size and caliber. Canelo's history of overcoming such disadvantages boosts his confidence and convinces many that he holds a significant edge, heading into yet another high-stakes super fight.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cut the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot at knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when he fought Gamboa, Gamboa rocked him a little bit too.
That was
And
a
we
long
talking
time
about
ago,
Canelo
Coach.
Alvarez.
That was a long time ago. If we gonna do that, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish the fight.
Analysts have been quick to caution fans against lazy comparisons when dissecting this matchup. Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence Jr., and Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. Each man brings something distinct to the table. Canelo with explosive power, subtle upper body movement, and a chin built for wars, and Crawford with his remarkable adaptability and seamless switch-hitting ability. Experts stress that no past blueprint applies here. Instead, this is a brand new collision of styles between two extraordinary fighters, each bringing something unique to a once-in-a-generation showdown.
Terence Crawford is a dog, that's a fact. Heart of the lion, that's a fact. Great boxer, great skills, high IQ, future Hall of Famer, that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You know what else is a fact, ladies and gentlemen? Terence Crawford cannot afford to get hit with these same shots by Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa, and he's for damn sure not Errol Spence Jr. Just like Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather or Lara. We trying to say that Bud's gonna do the same thing that Mayweather was able to do. Two different styles, two different type of fighters. Mayweather is a pure boxer. Terence Crawford is not a pure boxer. That does not mean that he can't box. Before y'all try to kill me in the comment section. Yes, he has the ability to box, but Terence Crawford is a boxer puncher, ladies and gentlemen. He gives angles, but he doesn't move like a Floyd Mayweather or a Lara. He's not on his toes like that. And he also likes to exchange when he gets hurt, and that can be to his detriment. And if he exchanged with Canelo a little too long, it might be NyQuil time. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section.
Heading into the fight, Canelo Alvarez enjoys the natural advantages of size and experience. Competing at 168 pounds is routine for him, while it is unexplored territory for Crawford. Alvarez also carries the benefit of battling a long list of Hall of Fame caliber opponents, yet Crawford is often described as the most technically gifted boxer alive today. His pinpoint timing, sharp counterpunching, and fluid stance switching make him a nightmare puzzle for anyone. Ultimately, the matchup pits size and battle-tested experience against pure technical mastery and adaptability.
Boxing odd makers have Canelo versus Crawford Gillette close. Now, obviously, Canelo has the size advantage. He's 3 weight divisions heavier than Crawford. And most people believe that Crawford carries the skill advantage, being an overall more skilled fighter. Neither guy is known for tremendous defense, but it's still solid. And of course, they're both chiseled into the Mount Rushmore of pugilism for their ironclad wills. The one area that people say Canelo might have the advantage is in experience fighting heavier dudes. Now, obviously, all fighters spar out of their weight classes. But when it comes to actually fighting in the pro ranks with those 10-ounce gloves, Canelo's the only one between the two of them that has a multitude of experience fighting super middleweights and light heavyweights in the pro ranks. So does this slight advantage give Canelo the nod and make him a bit of a favorite? Or is Crawford going to prove that size doesn't matter and it's skills that pay the bills? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced stern warnings about Crawford's ambitious leap into Canelo's weight class. Sanchez argues that Crawford has never faced opponents with this kind of natural size, making the challenge a massive gamble. He cautions that moving up too quickly can expose even the most skilled boxers to disadvantages that talent alone cannot erase. Using Dimitri Bivol's victory over Canelo as an example, Sanchez points out that even a natural light heavyweight like Bivol, armed with size and stylistic edges, still had to fight at his absolute peak to win. His takeaway is blunt. If someone as big and strong as Bivol had to dig that deep, then Crawford's climb against Alvarez is an even steeper mountain.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. I mean, he's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights. And then Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once he assimilates, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
Do you see a version of Canelo now that is slowing down? Obviously, a lot of people might point towards the Williams school fight, but again, despite how that one played out, people talk about his lack of motivation maybe for a fight like that. But do you see this version of Canelo declining?
No, I think the lack of motivation because of the opponent could have been the reason for that fight. I think these guys at that level, once they get a name, they're looking at a name. It's a different story. They're not only their motivation, but they're waking up earlier in the morning to go run. All those things come into play because they know they have a challenge ahead of them.
One thing with the weight, and again, Buddy spoke to me about this, is he said that if he was Terence, he'd come in just over the 160 limit. So he's just inside the 168 limit to try and keep a bit more of that speed instead of just like bulking up. Did you agree with that sentiment? Or if he was Terence, would you just bulk up?
Well, let me say this. Like everybody else, I read or I watch some of the writings on the internet, and to see that Terence is weighing 186, 190 pounds, I think that's completely the wrong way to do it.
Respected trainer Robert Garcia has also raised concerns over Crawford's preparation for this move. He warns that rapid weight gain can dull a fighter's natural strengths, particularly speed and reflexes, the very attributes that define Crawford's style. Garcia further dismissed comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, reminding fans that Mayweather always stayed within his limits and carefully picked his battles. In his view, if the added weight slows Crawford's footwork, hand speed, or stamina, his brilliance may not carry the same effect at super middleweight.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You guys were just mentioning right now that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So, I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's going to get hit, and he's going to have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist and multi-division champion Claressa Shields has added a strong counterpoint to the debate. While she acknowledges that legend Shane Mosley favors Canelo to dominate, she respectfully disagrees. Shields believes Crawford's superior skill set and adaptability give him the tools to overcome the size disadvantage. As one of the most accomplished women in boxing history, her perspective carries real weight, especially as she has long admired Crawford's technical genius and relentless mental toughness.
With all due respect to Shane Mosley, sure, he just said that Terence Crawford was going to get watched by Canelo. I don't think his word is really worth that much.
Do you think she need a year?
No, she needs till January, February. That's the timeline. She needs 6 to 8 months. She said out of her own mouth that she's in shape. She can come back. She told me that I'm too small for her. I'm not skilled enough for her. She punched too hard. And if she comes to get me, I won't be able to keep her off me. So stand on that. Take this $15 million and come get your ass whooped.
Trainer Rob Esta has come out firmly defending Crawford amid whispers about his physical transformation. Some skeptics suggested his recent size increase wasn't natural, but Esta shot down those claims. He explained that the changes are the result of strict discipline, a carefully structured diet, and the unforgiving grind of training camp. He emphasized that Crawford has always been one of the sport's hardest workers, building his reputation not just on talent but on unmatched dedication. Esta stressed that every part of Crawford's regimen from nutrition to conditioning has been monitored and executed with precision. He urged fans to dismiss baseless speculation and instead recognize Crawford's physique as the product of sacrifice and relentless effort. To him, the real story is Crawford's hunger for greatness and his readiness to take on the biggest challenge of his career.
Son,
Okay.
PDs. Been hearing a lot about Terence Crawford and Victor Conte as of late.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And people are making accusations. People are insinuating that Crawford is indeed doping. And based off of his recent size, and they're not used to Terence Crawford looking this big. And give me some insight into that. Give me some insight into fighters walk around weight, PEDs, and criticism of the guy that hasn't tested positive versus the guy in the same fight that's tested positive and team has tested positive.
First, I don't think Crawford's taking anything. I don't think he is. I think just the size difference in what he walks around to what he's been looking lately. That is that's just something that possibly, that's how he walks around. Now, Crawford's physique, he's the type of guy that if he becomes heavy, it shows in his face, it shows in the obliques, but he still got abs, he still got definition in his chest. You know what I mean? So he could just possibly just look like that. Now, mind you, there's still a decent amount of time. We're still talking about 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see how either wherever he is, the cut goes, or however low he goes, how it gets constructed on the way up.
Many analysts believe the fight's outcome could hinge more on Canelo Alvarez's form than on Crawford's adjustments. In recent years, Canelo has occasionally shown signs of slowing down, losing some of the explosiveness that once defined him. If he reverts to his earlier style of pressure fighting, mixing sharp combinations with endless stamina, he could be nearly unbeatable. But if he underestimates Crawford or fights too cautiously, he risks getting outboxed for Alvarez. This fight is as much about reclaiming his prime aura as it is about defending his hard-earned legacy.
Today, in regards to Canelo's media workout, so what do we see there? We see a little bit of what he wants to do to take advantage of a right-hand southpaw matchup. Get his lead foot on the outside, bang the right hand down the pipe, set it up with the jab, and maybe even fire that jab at the lead hand of Crawford to just get it touch, step outside right hand down the middle. We saw Canelo doing a lot of cross-stepping, which is, I think, a bad idea versus someone who has good angle manipulation like Crawford does. Right? Every wasted movement, capitalization for Crawford to try to fire back on it. And Canelo is going to be hit with some counter punches. Make no mistake about it, Canelo will stand in the pocket. Yes, he'll try to make Crawford miss, but sometimes he'll even eat a couple so that he can be there behind that high guard, taking punches to look for one of the big ones on his own counter shot. So that can be a little bit of the gamesmanship too. That can be a little bit of the chess game going on, is who's going to land the bigger counter punch and how many of those can Crawford take moving up to 168 versus Canelo, who has been there and is fighting a guy that has fought at a lot smaller weight, that hasn't seen the power, like we talked about, the narratives being built, that Canelo brings at 168. Even now, all those things will come into play. I think a big important part of this fight is just how much Canelo utilizes his lead hand, because I'm telling you, it's going to be the most important thing in this fight. I really think if Canelo is his jab and is able to mask some of the stuff that he loves to do, which is that lead hook to the body, smashing hook on the arms, on the body, on the shoulders. If he's able to hide it just a little bit and then hit you with that timing, that Canelo Alvarez timing that's been perfect, that put down Billy Joe Saunders, that found the button on Kovalev.
Rapper and boxing. Commentator Ocho Cinco put the entire matchup into simple but crucial terms. Everything may come down to whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power. At lower weights, Crawford has proven his grit and durability. But the punches at 168 pounds are an entirely different story. If Crawford withstands Alvarez's heavy shots, the fight could transform into a tactical chess match of skill. If not, Canelo's raw strength could bring the contest to an abrupt end. Ocho Cinco summed it up perfectly. The drama of this super fight revolves around that one defining question.
All right, let me ask you a question. You're a boxing fan, right?
Yeah, bad.
Canelo versus Terence Crawford. Like right now, according to betonline.ag, Canelo's favored -180, Crawford's 139. That means that if you bet on Canelo, you'd have to bet $180 to make $100.
That's not that bad.
It's almost 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah, but
almost.
Canelo stuff used to be way crazier than that.
Terence Crawford's no joke, though.
You know, I mean, I would bet Terence Crawford on the fight.
So you would bet on Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
He never lost. Mayweather beat Canelo real easy. And I don't think Terence Crawford...
Mayweather beat Canelo way early on. Way early on.
But
plus, it's Mayweather.
Listen, Law is Mayweather hit cheat code. But I think if anybody can beat Canelo, it's Terence Crawford. I mean, I'm not betting against somebody that never lost. You know what I mean? Now, if Terence Crawford take his punches, that's what we got to see.
Yeah, September 13th in Las Vegas.
That's going to be the biggest fight ever,
probably. It'll be on Netflix.
I think it's going to be the biggest fight ever.
Yeah, Canelo's getting $150 million. Crawford's getting $50 million. Huge paydays for everyone involved.
Plus, they're going to get probably back-end money, too.
Yeah.
But how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view. Do they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So I'm saying, so they don't get no back-end then?
No, there is no back-end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because pay-per-view, the back-end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about a back-end. You give me
but Netflix doesn't do back ends, period. Like even
so
on
he getting
movie
3 times more than Terence Crawford? God damn. That's crazy, bro. I would at least think it'd be 2 times.
Would you turn down $50 million?
Not even 5.
So, I know today you could be pocket watching the other boxer, but at the end of the day, you're still getting $50 million.
Yeah, $50 million.
Biggest payday he's ever gotten in his life, even after taxes and whatever. Like
I just think he was enough of a draw. They can get at least half of what he was getting. Of course, $50 million. Like $50 million.
Canelo has the whole like Latin community, and you got to think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, but Terence Crawford's last fight's been sold out just like Canelo's.
No, I mean, they all sell out. Like Terence is a beast. I just feel like Canelo's kind of a bigger figure.
He a bigger figure, but I think he was 3 times bigger. This fight's gonna be insane.
Hey man, it's all about negotiation.
You know what it was? Because probably he getting so much less because Canelo ain't had to take it. Canelo scared of Benavidez though, period. And I don't think he could beat Benavidez at all. I would bet on Benavidez.
Yeah?
For sure.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and like this video and stay tuned for more like this.